All right, today we're going to continue on our way of doing balanced equations. So what we're going to do, I'm going to go over 3 or 4 of this worksheet, and if you understand what's going on with this one, you'll do pretty well on worksheet 3, because I'm sure most of you have not completed worksheet 3 yet. Now remember, if you would like to put down the type of equation it is, so using your foldable, you can figure out if it's single replacement, double replacement, synthesis, decomposition, combustion. And we discussed on Friday exactly what all those types are. With this particular example, we are going to be just working on balances. I would suggest, and I guess for those of you listening, if you actually listen, if you write down the type of equation it is, I will give you extra points on your binder check at the end of the week. All right. So here's what we're gonna do. You are more than welcome. You have plenty of space over here to write your different types of things. So for instance, if we would like to write down our specific elements, and we can do our 3 columns. So left area, right area. And since we only have 2, it's pretty simple. So we're going to count. It looks like we have 1 and 1. So of our XE, we only have 1 of each, but we can see that there are 2 of the F on the left side and 6 of the F on the right side. So we have to figure out a way to get these 2 to balance. So we can do trial and error. We can do 2 divided by 6 is 3. So let's make this one 3. So these 2 stay at 1. This one goes to 3. And now they balance. That's simple. So that's your first example. So first one. Now, let's do one that's a little bit more complicated. So this one, and for instance, if I write it down, this one is in S, synthesis. I'm going to do number 3. So number 3 is a double replacement. So now, since this one is a little bit more complicated, I'm going to switch to somewhere where I have more room. So I'm going to take my original formula and write down what I have. So it is KOH plus CO2, and that turns into K2CO3 plus H2O. Alright, that's what our original is. So now we need to find out our different ones. So we have K, our different elements, that is. We have O, we have H, and we have C. So if we make our rows and our columns, so now we count up on each side. So remember, this one's going to be left, this one's going to be right. We have 1, 2, 3 oxygens on the left, and we move, so this one's got to be bottom in this case because I didn't have enough room. 1, 2, 3, 4 on the right. Go to K, we have 1 on the left and 2 on the right. And then H, there's 1 on the left and 2 on the right. And we have C, which is 1 and 1. So, what's the easiest thing to start out with? Since we have 2 ones, we have 3 ones on the left side and 1 on the right side. But let's look at these two. These two are going to be the simplest to start with. So let's go with K. If I put a 2 here, now we're going to have this be we're going to make orange be our pencil, so that way we get it correct. So this is now 2. So we have 2. Our O is now 4. Because look at that. 2 times 2 plus 2. Or 1 times 2 plus 2. So now this is 4. Alright. Our C stays the same. Oh, and our H goes to 2. Look at that. There it is. Completely perfect. Now that we've done the work on here, we can transfer it over to our answer. And little did we know that it was going to be as simple as doing that. So boom, that's our answer. Now I do not expect you to do all the work. If this makes it easier for you, you can. If trial and error makes it easier for you, if you're good at math and you understand how to multiply different things, then that's fine. But I understand some of you will need to actually use this, so that's why we have it. All right, so moving on. Let's go to the back. So let's try. Let's do number 15, because 15 has some big numbers. And we can see, because remember, it's going to have a C, and it's going to have an oxygen that it has to multiply with. So that makes this one a combustion. So we will write this, I'm going to write this again on my work page, and then we will do this together. Alright, well I've tried to go long ways so that way we could have more room, but it didn't end up anyways. So we can see we have C, H, and O. So let's start with C, H, and O. Create our columns. Now, left, right. Let's look at it. So this we have 10 on our left, and we only have 1 on our right. So this can make it troublesome. Now we have O, 2 on the left, and 3 on the right. 1, 2, 3. And we have H's, 22 on the left, and 2 on the right. So we have to come up with a way to get this to balance. Remember, do not start with H or O if you don't have to. So we're going to start with C. And the best way to do that is we're going to take this C and multiply it by 10. So now we can take this away. We now have 10 on the right, 10 on the left. So our C is balanced. We have to multiply this one by 10. So now our O goes from 3 to 2 times 10 is 20 plus 1. So now we have 21 on our right side. So we got a little bit of work to do. Now, if we want to, we can try to multiply this one by 11. You want to try? Let's try it. So 11 times H equals, or 11 times 2 equals 22. But that makes this one now equal 31, because 10 times 2 is 20 plus 11 is now 31. Now we have a problem. What are we going to do? We have to figure out a way to get this to balance out. And what are we going to do about that? So we have our 2 on this side, but there's no number we can multiply. We can't do halves. We can't multiply this by 15.5 in order to equal our 31. So if that means we have to do something, we have to do something. So we have to get these to balance out. Alright, so let's try it. Let's erase our answers. Because that didn't work. This is why we do it in pencil. So the only other option is to multiply our biggest numbers by 2. So we now have to, we might as well erase this entire thing. So we have, sorry, erase this one too. Create new columns. So now we have 20 on the left. And 44 H's. And we still have 2. Now we have 1 C. We have 3 O's. And we have 2 H's. Alright, let's dive into this. Let's see what we can do. So the best way to make this equal 20 is to multiply 1 by 20. So now we balance out our C's. We now balance out our O's. So 41. Shoo, big number. Like I said, this one's a little bit tougher. So 44. So how do we get this? We multiply by 22. Man, 22 times 2 is 44. We now have O times 22, so we take this one, and now we equal 20 times 2 is 40. 22 times 1 is 22, so that's going to be 62. All right. And we multiply our 2 by, what do we have to multiply by? What is it? What do we think you got? 62 divided by 2 is 31. And that balances out. Crazy, right? A lot of our carbon molecules create things like this. So if it is a large carbon molecule, so in our combustions, you'll have a lot of products that are large numbers. Make sense? Sometimes it takes a lot of oxygen to burn some carbons. Alright, so let's put our balance out equation on our paper. So number 15, so we're looking at 2, 31, 20, and 22. Pretty crazy, right? All right, so go ahead and get out your worksheet number 3, and we will go over one problem from there together. All right, let's try number 2 together. So number 2 is going to be, we only have one element and one compound, one element, so that's going to be a single replacement. We have K, B, and O. So our left column, right column, K, 1, 2 on the right. B, we have 2 and 1. And O, we have 3 and 1. So let's start with our K. Let's start with our B. Our B is going to be the easiest one to fix. So we just take our right column and we multiply it by 2. So that balances out. And we take our, let's try O next because that's going to make it easy. We're going to multiply this one by 3. So that makes this 3. Our K is now 6. So the only way to fix this one is to multiply our K by 6. And now we are balanced. So that is as simple as we can get it. We cannot lower it anymore. So we're at 6K, 1BR, O3, 3K2O, and 2B. Alright, so the rest of it's on your own. If you need help, that's why we did this today. So good luck. Please ask me for help if you need it.